Hi, this is Dr. Richard Giannato. We're continuing our series on metabolic wellness, and we've been discussing nutrition. In the last video, I gave you a generalized introduction, and now we're going to talk about the individual macronutrients. These are the nutrients that are referred to as proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. And today we're going to start with carbohydrates. Energy source for the body. This is very important. Carbohydrates are found in plant sources, and only plant sources, such as fruits, vegetables, and grains. And they're used for instant and sustained energy. The principal function of carbohydrates is to provide immediate energy and short-term energy storage as glycogen in the liver and the muscles. So when you ingest carbohydrates, they're broken down into simple sugars such as glucose, and this glucose enters the cells and is used as an energy source. Any left over is strung together in a large storage molecule called glycogen, and the liver and the muscle tissues play host and store it. Carbohydrates are really the first place your body goes to when it needs energy. Now, excess carbohydrates should be burned off as heat. And insufficient carbohydrates result in the body utilizing either your fatty tissue and then your protein for energy, and even to the point of breaking down muscle tissue. So this is something to be aware of. Insufficient carbohydrates can result in protein breakdown, and all that hard muscle that you work to attain in the gym will start to be destroyed bit by bit by bit. Carbohydrates should therefore comprise about 40% of your daily calories. They never should be zero. Some diet fads call for no carbs whatsoever, such as Atkins, but this is too much of an inflammatory diet. You really need carbohydrates, and we'll talk in depth about that later on in the lecture. Now, digestive enzymes in your small intestine break down carbohydrates, as I said, into glucose. The glucose is immediately utilized by the body, or it's stored as glycogen in muscles and liver. Now, here's the interesting part. Muscles can store about 20 minutes of glycogen for energy, and the blood can hold about 60 minutes of glycogen for energy. If glucose levels are maximized and all glycogen storage locations are full, then any excess glucose will be converted to fat by the liver and stored in adipose tissue or fat cells. And ladies and gentlemen, there is really no limit to the amount of fat that the body can store. So here's a very important principle to take home. You don't get fat by eating fat. You get fat by eating excess carbohydrates. Remember, only a certain amount of carbs are needed for immediate energy. The rest are parked as glycogen, and in excess of that, it's all turned into fat. And the primary fatty storage form are triglycerides, and this is bad because these are the fats that cause type 2 diabetes. These are the fats that promote heart disease, laying down of plaque in the arteries. This is what you don't want. Remember, there is really no limit to the amount of fat that the body can store. So let's classify carbohydrates. Scientists like to classify everything. There are 3 types of carbohydrates. Monosaccharides, or simple sugar. So take the term saccharides, meaning sugar, monosaccharides, one sugar. This is glucose and fructose. Disaccharides, di meaning two, are composed of 2 monosaccharides, such as table sugar or sucrose and milk sugar or lactose. Remember, a lot of people have a lactose intolerance or allergy to milk sugar, and this causes quite a problem when they ingest it. And then there are polysaccharides, many sugars, composed of multiple monosaccharides, and these comprise starches, for instance. All right? So monosaccharides, simple sugars; disaccharides, 2 sugars; polysaccharides, multiple monosaccharides, such as starches. 1 gram of carbohydrate contains 4 calories of energy, regardless of the carbohydrate type. Simple refined carbohydrates comprise the bulk of the carbohydrates in the typical American diet. Sugar, refined breads, cereals, these are the things that 30% of the daily caloric intake comes from. Sugar is very prevalent in today's diet, and these are empty calories, ladies and gentlemen, as we shall see. It behooves you to improve your diet with less refined carbohydrates. Most Americans fail to consume the needed daily 6 to 10 servings of vegetables and fruits, the preferred source of more complex and nutrient-rich carbohydrates. And you know what? Sadly, the average consumption is no more than 3 servings. Well, I hope this introduction to carbs is gauging your interest. We are going to continue this introduction to carbs in the next video. In the meantime, feel free to go back and watch the other videos in the Metabolic Wellness series, and we will talk again soon.